They do the sound placement technology. This is Patrick Flanagan's work. They can make it sound like there's a voice like right behind you. They can make it sound like there's something in the ceiling. They can make it sound like, like a demon is speaking to you, and it's them. They can make it sound like it's the voice inside your head, or voices inside your head. No matter what you do, you can't turn it off. You plug your ears. That helps muffle some of it, depending on whether you have an implant or not. It's really, 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 really sick shit. But anyway, that should give you a basic overview. So for your family, they're being psyops and they don't know. And then you have to consider how people are conditioned. This is a whole formula. And I'm hoping to get some documents online. I did a lot of research and I try to help boil it down for people. But there's a whole formula that's done. And one of it is how you manipulate and condition a population that you want to control. So for some people, you let them have a cushy life, and you're selecting people that are, kind of mediocrity, which we consider a lot of our professions in America. You have that coming, folks. Unless you're really good people and you know what's going on, then good for you. But you let a group have success, and you keep promulgating this bullshit. It's part of neuro-linguistic programming. And, if you work hard, nose to the grindstone, work hard, life is fair, there is no racism, just hard work, and that's how you get ahead, and blah, 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 blah. So you have that crew, so whenever people speak up, they go, no, you're crazy, that can't be, because you're violating their delusional sense of reality. I mean, at this point, if you don't notice something's wrong, there's something really wrong with you. And then you have the group that you target, and it's always alienation, isolation. It's the same way a batterer does it, because that's what these people are, and all serious batterers and child abusers are psychopaths. Alienate, isolate, terrorize, traumatize, do the smear campaign, intimidation tactics, terror tactics, the constant setup. Like you were talking about the setup that they do. As for masturbation, they do that to everybody. It's all part of the formula that they do. So there's like a cultural formula that they do. There's a professor from Geneseo, I think he's from the Middle East, he knows a lot about this, or he's from Central Asia, and he says, you're a socially, technically engineered people, and he's right. So you can find him. There's Robert Becker with Albany University, The Body Electric. I'm trying to read the electric meme. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of information out there. As for the masturbation stuff, that's part of the formula of this now kind of advanced MK Ultra, enhanced MK Ultra. What they do is, you ever hear about surveys done? Like, how did they get that survey done or sample the population of the United States so quickly? I'll tell you how. When people are falling to sleep and they're entering REM sleep, you're just about to enter REM sleep, you're like half awake, half asleep, and you're about to go into rapid eye movement sleep, that state is called a somnambulistic state. And that's when the mind is most suggestible. And there's 4 things they can do. They can tap into the id and the animus. So there's the id, the ego, right, and the superego. Well, the id is just the raw animus. And they can get you to, they'll start with sleep deprivation. They send signals that actually trigger your endocrine system, your hormonal system. They poison you with your own endocrine system, your own hormonal system. They'll do sleep deprivation, and they're working on you. Like you said, the time frame is about 4 months for working on you. And they're tapping into your animus and your id, and they're doing it when you're sleeping, so you don't even know. You're being psyops the whole way through. And the thing is to have you engage in behavior that would be out of the ordinary for you. You don't sound like the kind of man, and what I know of you in our interactions, there's no way in hell that Steve's going to be the kind of guy like, it's Mr. Weirdo Neighbor, and look at me and my erection. That's on him. They set you up for that. They do it to everybody. They did it to Spitzer. As for Scott Ritter, Carol was the one directly posing. He was chatting to her, not a teenage girl, and he wasn't chatting to Ryan Veneman. That's out of their jurisdiction to do so. Ryan Veneman got nailed for a hate crime. It had to be reduced to hate crime speech. So the deal was you were going to lie and say, Ryan, that you actually were chatting and posing as a young underage girl trying to get Scott Ritter. You were posing as an underage girl trying to catch this horrible pedophile, Scott Ritter. Nobody starts being a pedophile in their 40s. They're always trying to make targets and witnesses look like they are. Now, all these people that do this, again, are psychopaths. And all these people are predators. They're all sex offenders. They're all pedophiles or pedophilic. Even Carol, she's a pedophile. Or at least pedophilic, but I'm pretty sure she's a pedophile too. Nancy, pedophilic. Gene Roberts is another one, pedophilic, pedophile. This is, all about trying to discredit you and make you look like these freaks are. And there's this whole formula that they've worked on, and they do this to men. They try to make men look like pedophiles. They try to make men look like rapists. They can, like I said, in the somnambulistic state, they're tapping into the id. They're psyopsing you. They're poisoning you. They're doing sleep debt to you. They're doing this for 4 months. They alienate you. They isolate you. And, we're social animals. We're sexual beings. And when you're alienated and isolated like that, there's this whole formula that they do to set you up. And they drug you to do this. And they also can slip the MK Ultra drugs to you without you knowing. They'll break into your house, go through your refrigerator, your drinks, whatever. I had Joyce Simmons say to me, oh, I love coffee too. Sometimes I have a cup of coffee that's been sitting there for hours. And, sometimes I'll drink out of it even though it's cold. Do you ever do that? Gotcha, sweetheart. I know what that's about because then they can put the MK Ultra drugs. If I leave my apartment, I come back and there's my cold coffee mug. They're going to put the MK Ultra drugs in there. But it's part of the formula that they do. They do this to everybody. It's despicable. They did it to me, They do it to everybody they can. They did it to Spitzer. They did it to Ritter. And it's all about trying to make us look like them, It's always about trying to make you look crazy, like a pedophile, like a violent, deranged nutbag, and like a pervert. And also, there are 4 things with a somnambulistic state. They can cause extreme violence. They can make you red hot angry. And this is about immersing you in memes of somebody, let's say having almost a psychotic fit of rage. They can make you profoundly depressed. They can make you suicidal. When you say like manic depression, yeah, they're trying to make you look like you're emotionally labile, up and down, up and down, up and down. The more you know about this is the less power that they have over you. And the more you latch on or you connect to me is the more power you have and the more you'll be able to get rid of them. You should know this, that I have contacted, let me finish your questions up first. Let's see. I mentioned, hallucinations, they do that too. Here's something else that these gals here do. They will immerse men in memes of, let's say, a man having a psychotic episode. They have gotten men and young boys to mutilate their genitalia, even to castrate and emasculate themselves. These people are absolutely evil. The way they do so is they will immerse you in the meme. So it's copies of brainwaves of somebody actually having a psychotic episode and doing this. And it will immerse you in such an intensity. They've already got you drugged up. They've already kicked in, the MK Ultra drugs and whatever hormones. They'll use adrenaline or whatever, and they will terrify you. And you will feel what that person felt. And as they're doing this to you, they're navigating you through this, they've had men actually cut off their genitalia. These people are absolutely evil. They have no remorse, they have no compassion, they have no empathy, and it is our highest priority to hunt down every one of these damn things. So, yeah, they can cause all sorts of mood swings, all sorts of behavioral aberrations. It's all part of a formula to destroy and discredit you. I will say this, I have been talking to someone from China who's a scientist and an evolutionary biologist, and I was talking about how it's the negative mutations, it's the negative preservation mutations, And I was discussing on how theoretically you could use this technology to hunt down a psychopath and use a Tesla death ray and evaporate them. You could actually tear somebody apart at the atomic level. You can rip apart their molecules and their atoms, which I recommend. So let's see. Can read your mind, what it feels like. Yep, that should be a good overview of all of this. I think I was going to recap on something. I don't remember what it was. I'm doing this off the cuff. I just woke up. And like I said, they do this to me too. They make me very tired. I already have multiple sclerosis. I have serious physical disabilities. But what's important is the more that you know, is the more that you can stop. Oh, here's the last thing I wanted to say. For everybody who's a serious TI, this is what you need to do. You need to go into Facebook, or you go to the regular page. It's the International Human Rights Commission. They are in touch with The Hague, okay? The Hague, they hang war criminals. They are interested in documenting what is going on, and it is beneficial to them because the plan from this nutbag crew is not just to kill everybody who's Jewish or Semitic on Earth and everybody who's black. It is to completely take over all of Eurasia. They're starting in the Middle East. They use Israel. That's their foot in the door. And the plan is to blow up Israel or Jerusalem, to blame it on Iran or someone in the Middle East, and to keep going through to have complete control over all the oil and gas resources, take over Central Asia, and then China. And this is part and parcel of the PNAC documents. You can check this out online. And then you have like the New Age narcissist sociopaths in California. And you don't want them in control of anything. You want rational, decent, legitimate people. We all on Earth have one enemy. And it is, you're going to find it in the investors of SRI. You're going to find it in most of the board of directors of SRI and their subsidiaries and their affiliates. It isn't for evil Jewish bankers, folks. No, it's not. They got played. A lot of people got played and pulled into this as part of a more devious plan. My anger with America is if you're also damn smart, had a Gillette Nazi and garbage hillbilly, Ku Klux Klan white trash take over your fucking country and really dangerous technology. The problem is they'll say the military, it's not the military, military personnel, what's sending them is absolutely barbaric. It's the DOD and specifically the DIA and the NSA. I don't believe there are that many Satanists in the DIA and NSA. I think there are people with psyops to believe they're Satanists. Thomas Aquino, House of Set. I'm 47, and I loved old movies and old shows, and I used to watch The Outer Limits. That guy's a too-big character actor that they got into the DIA to take part in doing this and psyopsing people, and psyopsing members of DARPA, HARP, ARPA, all that, as part of this plan. It's despicable. These people go 24/7. They've been doing this for 60 years. These are the same people who killed all the Kennedys, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, John Lennon, and this list goes on and on and on. These are the people that killed Benazir Bhutto, the Bhuttos. These are the people that have to be eradicated from Earth. The carrying capacity today is that we on Earth, humanity cannot afford to have one psychopath on Earth. This technology is so dangerous, and this planet is really fragile. They've done so much damage, according to Dr. Nick Begich. There isn't just holes in the ionosphere and magnetosphere. There are slices, and that's our protective barrier. People keep talking about 12-21-12. You know what 12-21 is? It's the winter solstice. It's when we, in the northern hemisphere, when we are closest to the sun. And without that protective barrier and serious solar flares, the damage that can be done is surreal. And this technology is so dangerous and destructive. They did the earthquake in Japan, that's all them. The tsunami. I remember we were talking about this at the UC, like my latter years there. And the cell was radio frequency technology, sending signals down into fault lines to alleviate when the bigger earthquake was coming, which sounded like a good cell. But you could also do that and create an earthquake, and that's on Tesla technology. The thing is, folks, that the technology is too accessible and it's way too dangerous. You can't afford to have one psychopath on Earth. And the only kind of people that would do this are psychopaths and the psychopathic. Okay, I hope that gave you plenty of information. Go through it, learn from it. I will be putting up more organized videos. Steve, you've done a great job. Don't give up. And contact the International Human Rights Commission. They have an IHRO organization and commission. Make a testimony. Do a video testimony. Get information to them. They need to have this. They work with the UN. They are part of the UN. They work with the Human Rights Commission. They're the commission that has some bite. And as for the Netherlands and The Hague and all of that stuff, I have a familial connection, my son and all, and his father. So let's get going on that. Follow through on looking at some of the stuff that I suggested. And I hope that's been clear enough to help people. It's hard for me to concentrate. I have to deal with them doing all sorts of weaponry. Oh, one more thing. Why do you talk when they do the pulse microwave audiogram to you? Because if you've noticed, if you don't respond out loud, the pain gets intense. They're conditioning you to speak out loud so you look like you're schizophrenic. That's part of the technology. Anyway, people follow through. Play this video again. Check out Jerry E. Smith. There's a bunch of books and stuff that you can check out. Contact the International Human Rights Organization and Commission. And I can recommend Freedom from Covert Harassment, Peace Pink, Bill Magnus Olson, Benjamin Simon. There's a small group that I can definitely vouch for. There are a lot of gang stalkers on the internet, but usually you can tell, psychopaths with their behavior. It's pretty comical and bizarre. So good luck to all of you. Hang in there. I do know what this feels like. I am fighting for my son, for all kids. I've been fighting for you for a long time. Don't give up. We have got to get rid of this garbage, or they're going to get rid of all of humanity. They're too reckless, too dangerous, and they have to be stopped. Thanks.